Hey creeps, my name is Scarah and welcome to Tub of Terror Reviews, the review show that is rather short because, let's be honest, these bubbles aren't gonna last forever. I'll be reviewing the 2019 version of Pet Sematary. I say version instead of remake because there's no way that thing can be considered a remake. It is way different than the 1989 version. Wait! Am I gonna compare the first movie to the second movie? I'm gonna have to make comparisons. I'm sorry. So, the movie starts out with the Creed family, which consists of Dr. Creed, the wife is Rachel, the little girl is Ellie, and the little boy is Gage. Now they moved from a big town in Boston to a little bitty rural town, right? Soon after moving to the boondocks, the family discovers that they are living on the property that there also happens to be a creepy ass pet cemetery. Alright, there's a parade of children, there's animal masks, it's a thing. Two other characters that are in lead roles in this film are Judd, played by John Lithgow, and Church the cat, played by, I don't know, probably a litter of cats. Probably 6 or 7 cats. Maine Coon cats. So Judd is the Creed's neighbor, and he's a lonely old man. He's a tad bit grumpy, but soon enough Ellie wins over his heart, and they become pals, and then he becomes all friendly with the Creed family. So here's where I have to shine the light on John Lithgow's performance, because he had giant Herman Munster-sized shoes to fill. Fred Gwynne was the actor that originally played the Judd character, and he was Judd, okay? Like, the image of Fred Gwynne as Judd is seared into my brain. Even after seeing John Lithgow's master performance of the same character, to me, Judd is still Fred Gwynne. But John Lithgow was a joy to watch. He is a national treasure, and if you don't agree, you can fight me. My address is 11. Oh my gosh, and then there's Zelda. When I was a wee little witch, watching Zelda in the first Pet Sematary was maybe one of the scariest things for a youngster. It was frightening. Zelda in the remake is alright too. That actress does a fine job. And the special effects makeup work on Zelda's twisted spine is really cool too. But there was something about the original version's special effects makeup of Zelda's twisted spinal meningitis body that somehow is darker and creepier and dirtier. Filthier. In both versions, young Rachel is terrified of her bedridden sister Zelda. There's a twist in how Zelda dies in the second movie that's different from the first. And honestly, I don't know why they did that, because the twist doesn't seem to advance the plot. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, we made it different, guys. We made it different. We have a new version in 2019. It's different. Zelda dies in a different way. The other ultra scary character from the 1989 version was Victor Pascal. The fella, the college guy that gets hit by the bike and has the giant head injury. Terrifying in the first one. But in the 2019 version, Victor, to me, wasn't nearly as creepy. Not nearly as creepy. His head injury wasn't as creepy and gooey and bloody. Alright, I don't think I'm giving anything away that the trailer doesn't already give away. But in the first movie, little Gage Creed is the one that dies. He gets hit by a truck. And this one, it's the older child. Ellie is about 8 years old-ish. I can't remember. She's elementary age. I don't have children. I don't know how old they are. They're this big, whatever. I'm 1,000. How can I keep up with ages? Okay? I don't know. Oh, but before Ellie dies, Church dies. That fool gets hit by a car. The Creed family moved next to a highway that is just littered with big rigs, guys. I guess I got a discount because they're on death top. Can I ask you a question? Why do you think that the realtor for the Creed family didn't point out that they're moving next to the highway of death that is full of semi-trucks and trailers and whatnots? So like I said, Church the cat, boom, gets hit by a semi, dies. And that's where creepy old neighbor Judd comes in and is like, if you bury the cat in the Pet Sematary, which is actually a different cemetery than the Pet Sematary, it's a cemetery beyond the Pet Sematary. If you bury your cat there, he'll come back from the dead. He'll come back from the dead. Now, if your dang creepy elderly neighbor came and told you about a pet cemetery that would bring your dang creature back from the dead, wouldn't you call the authorities? If I had an elderly neighbor who all of a sudden came to me and said, hey, your dead cat can be brought back to life if you bury him in this cemetery over yonder, where the ground might be sour, I'd be questioning his cognitive status. Okay, I'd be wondering if dementia was setting in or something. Did he have a stroke? But no, Dr. Creed buys it hook, line, and sinker, and they get the cat and they go. You all know where this is going. If you bury your cat in a dang ancient cemetery burial ground for whatnots and who's-its, that cat is gonna come back as something dark-sided. My favorite. So here's where the biggest differences of the two movies lie, I think. The first movie, there was really a lot of setup in the idea of death, with Zelda being ill and, wife having to watch her die. In the first movie, it was heavily implied that Rachel Creed was relieved when Zelda died. I mean, she was running around the house screaming, Zelda's dead, Zelda's dead, and kind of laughing about it. She was relieved because it was hard to watch her sister being tortured in her own body, bedridden, and just knotted up and twisted. And it was hard to watch that because sometimes dead is better. The first movie focused a lot on that. The second movie really just streamlined that whole Zelda bit into, I had a sister who had meningitis. It was scary then, she died this certain way. I won't reveal how Zelda dies in the second movie, but I will say it wasn't as satisfying to me as all of the build-up that the first movie had for that character and Rachel as well. Okay? After the cat dies, the movie just takes a different course, and it's almost like they're just like, they rewrote the ending to try to be really different and shocking. Now I gotta say, I liked seeing someone else's vision of how that story could end in another universe, how things end up for the Creed family, right? I liked that. That was kind of cool. But you see, what was beautiful about the novel that the first film captured was the theme that unprocessed grief can be deadly. You have to go through that shit. I will say this. Could I have such a great impression of the first movie in my mind because I saw it as a child, so I think it was creepy because it was creepy to me as a child? Yes. Overall, Pet Sematary 2019 wasn't a bad movie. It was well acted, it looked cool, but I wasn't scared or creeped out at all. Now I'm curious. I'd like to know if you've seen both versions of Pet Sematary. Let me know which one you thought was creepier, which one you thought was scarier. As you can see, I've ran out of bubbles to cover myself with, so I've got to go. But go ahead and in the comments, let me know what movie you want me to review next, and I'll try to oblige. Until next time, I'll see you on your screens. Mwah.